Hey Bobby, I just put together a presentation to go through the ideas I've come up with for the mural on the north side of the Fay Street building. So I know, based on your suggestions, we want to have Jack as the main character. And I know you didn't think much of this pose at first, but I really find it endearing. I think there's a normal awkwardness that's going on in his adolescent pose. I think there's a quiet confidence in his gaze. It's like he's looking out into the future and figuring out where he wants to go. So this was the best way I was able to fit him into the blueprints. And I do like this portrait of Jack. I think it'll work, but I remember talking to you and saying it felt a little disjointed, like an unfinished tattoo. And I've been working on something the last couple of months that brings together this portrait of Jack, the artwork of of the other murals of the arcade district, and the business on that side of town, specifically the Tokyo Club. And so I'm considering all of the murals, the triangle, all seeing eye. I'm looking at the flowers, the dystopian landscape, the guy in the gas mask. Overall, I'm just looking for a cohesiveness, much like we had with the last mural, which is one of the favorite works that I've done. On social media, I've noticed that Jack is quite a swimmer, making waves, competing at a high level, and this idea of Jack in the Tokyo Club made me think of the one famous piece, The Great Wave by Hokusai, 1831, the Indo-Japanese. In the distance, you could see Mount Fuji, and Mount Fuji, of course, overlooks Tokyo. And when I think of the Tokyo Club, I'm mainly thinking about the pinball machines inside, which makes me think we should make this into a pinball playing field. So this is a first glance at that rough draft that I've been working on. You can see the flippers on the bottom four windows, the playing field above, Jack who stands off on the left-hand side. And in this case, I have Jack as the stand-in for the everyman. Much like the Carl Sagan quote, the cosmos is within us. We're made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. And I think this really ties in nicely with the blue figure on the other wall. And the flowers that surround Jack are indicative of the blue flower of the blue man, or the yellow flower of the blue man, and the flowers on the north end of the building. They are also related if we flip them compositionally, and here's what I mean by that. If we took the shape around the blue figure and flipped it upside down, then you would have the main compositional element of the new mural. So it would be something like this. And instead of the six-armed figure in the middle with the floating orbs, it's replaced by a pinball machine with multiple pinballs on the board. Again, the bottom windows acting as the main flippers. And like a lot of pinball machines, there's a lot going on. So let me just dive into this for a little bit. When we spoke, I was under the impression you were looking for something out there, surrealistic, psychedelic. And when I think of pinball, psychedelic, I think of Tommy, The Who, a movie that was made in 1975 and had famous stars like Elton John, Tina Turner, Eric Clapton. Pretty psychedelic. Talk more about it, but I really like this idea of the pinball wizard. In this case, Jack is the less tragic pinball wizard. And if we're going to stay in the 70s and talk about pinballs, there's nothing funkier than the pinball animation in the Sesame Street show. And you'll see I've taken little bits of this composition and made it into that too. So here's some other things that are on the pinball playfield. First of all, the background is the Great Wave with Mount Fuji, the volcano that's pointing up through the center of the composition. Above Mount Fuji is a green woman floating. Now, this mimics the figure on the other side that Adrian did. So we're inverted. Once again, the figure is a visualization of Carl Sagan's quote, "The cosmos is within us." And there are other elements to this composition as well. And because if we really want to go psychedelic, we're going to jump way back to the artwork of alchemy and mysticism, because this work is out there. Here's an example from 1660. At the center of the universe reads the sun. Rightly, it's called the lamp, the spirit, the ruler of the universe. And this one, a Christ, Apollo-like figures at the center of the zodiac. The outer circles contain the four seasons. In this one, it's a medieval view of the eye, and it thinks that there's three different forms of condensation of physical fluid, one of which has 7 planetary spheres corresponding to the microcosm. The belief in correspondence between universe and man, between microcosm and microcosm, or micro and macrocosm. It's very Carl Sagan. Here, the precise point of intersection between two pyramids of light and darkness, the sphere of equilibrium of form and matter. Within it dwells the life-giving cosmic soul. This is what they write about it. So I just can't help but play with some of these compositional elements from alchemy and mysticism. So here we have this. The sun is represented by a red circle, which also mimics the Japanese flag. And around her are the 9 planets. The all-seeing eye is represented in the 2 bumpers on either side, and there's a third eye above in the middle of the composition with a pinball rolling through the all-seeing eye. And you can see where I get that compositional inspiration from. Another mystic artwork that speaks about balance and light and darkness. It really ties together this idea of the yin yang, the balance of things, which is, Japanese philosophy. The playfield is bookended by similar green transport tubes that Adrian Mural did on the south side. The pop bumpers at the top are meant to represent the Arcade District logo and alien spacecraft on the east side of the mural. The target drops are based on the other north-facing mural. And the other strange flying objects across the playing field is based on the emblem of Tokyo Metropolis. In the far right, the plunger hits a new ball into play just as a rocket launches for outer space. I love this juxtaposition of Jack just starting out in the world on one side and a spacecraft launching into the cosmos on the other. And what better place could you launch yourself from but Columbia, Missouri? These are the buildings on the southwest side. So we have the Keyhole, Jesse Hall, Tiger Hotel, the courthouse, columns, water tower, etc. The styling of the city will mimic the same styling on the east side of the mural. So yeah, that's the basic summation of this composition, and this is what the rough draft will look like on the building. Give you an idea. The seams will be melded. The universe of Jack and stars will carry over to the old mural. And it will take some time. Like the last time, I'm going to have to CNC route a board and do a whole painting so that the windows match the artwork. And I will send you some of these photos to let you get a better look. Yeah, I hope you like it. Let me know if we can move forward. Thanks, Bobby. Talk to you soon.